We're streaming the guy's conversation onto YouTube, so archives for Christian, so he can watch it.
Oh, thanks. Is that legal?
We asked him. Got permission just for this. What's up, Mario? Hey, Mario, guess what? Hey, buddy. Hi.
Uh-oh, Jacob's all like upset right now. Jacob, chill out. No, but it's kind of funny that he gets so like emotional now. He's like, I need you on my side. I can't do anything without you happy. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I hate you. I hate you, but I still love you no matter what you do. I'm like, okay. I don't need your approval. You don't have to love her or hate me. This is me neutral towards me.
Why? Be nice.
He doesn't deserve it.
Oh, we're talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
How's Captain America?
I didn't go.
Okay, what the fuck?
I didn't go because it was so rainy. Because people bailed
What
probably.
were you gonna go see?
Captain America.
Where?
Oh, I drive.
Fucking right you are.
Are you going there?
Huh?
Were you going there too?
No, James and I saw it there on opening night. He wore his Captain America socks, Captain America belt, Captain America shirt.
That's funny. I was gonna wear. I just have a Marvel shirt.
I'll team Iron Man. Fuck Captain America.
I like Iron Man.
I'll say it. I'm just kidding. He's a normal guy.
I feel like it separates people. Sorry, honey, but Iron Man and something. You know what I mean?
Fuck yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He's so
Like,
conservative.
Captain America's great. Like, I love him, but he's like Bernie. He's good looking. Question for you, good vision for the country.
He has a good vision.
It would never work. But then Iron Man's like on the top of this Stark Industries building, like in like 1, 2, and 3, and he just stands like this. And freaking Iron Man suit is like it's put on him. It's the coolest thing ever. No one's that cool.
No,
You know, like never. Honestly, I love Marvel. All Marvel except Ant-Man.
I like Batman the most. But
And there's, I want to watch. I love Deadpool.
I want a girlfriend exactly the one he has. One I can be sassy with the whole damn time.
Yeah, like
Well, that's
it's such a
fun.
well done. I think it's really quick, so I had to watch it twice to get everything. But I love it. And then what's the show? I haven't actually seen it yet. But it's a show on Netflix about Lion Eternity.
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
The first season is so hard to get through. But they said the second season they fixed it. And the second season, a lot of people say the second season is like the most badass thing they've seen. This is just so good. But the first season, I'm watching. I started Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah.
I haven't finished it yet.
Is that on Netflix?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Holy shit! Where are you now?
I know I have like a little one. I just wanted some better girl. They had like 2 500 packs. I'm like, alright, I get it. Sure, you don't need that 800 allergy packs.
Dangerous felonies are meow.
Fart.
They are.
Burglary, arson, rape, robbery, kidnapping. What do you support here?
How many times a man's for? Oh, one more murder. How many? Right. Two active. There's nothing to do with the two other death crimes, which are called. The first one with the V is called. And when something happened that did what to you? Thank you. Catch up very good. And while you were provoked, you were put in the heat of passion. And go. Cool off. Very good. And involuntary manslaughter is defined by. Generally speaking, minus a crazy question. Generally speaking means that nobody was nobody was there. How do you know you acted recklessly? People are there. So, there's a couple of weird questions that will always appear that will make you do the opposite, or the question will tell you to do the opposite. And somehow you're supposed to pick up on one word which totally contradicts the entire fact pattern. We're going to talk more about questions later on today before we get into the Florida stuff. But again, as I briefly mentioned yesterday, no matter what set of questions you are practicing on, are going to, quote unquote, get tricked by some of those questions, which will seemingly contradict the fact pattern, and they will certainly contradict your outline material. As long as when you go back to the question, you know that you've approached the facts the correct way. And when the answer choice says, when the explanation says, although B would normally be correct, in this question, because of some weird, crazy thing, now we're going to tell you that C is correct, you know that that's a BS question and you throw it in the garbage. Because otherwise, you will start questioning yourself on every question, and then you get back to 50%. The good news about the bar exam, the actual MBE, is that you don't know when you're right or wrong. And so that's why I am so obsessive compulsive about you doing the same thing on all 200 questions all the time. As far as you're concerned, you got 200 correct. And you don't know when they're pulling the wool over your eyes. And that's the difference between dropping back into the 50 percentile and staying in the 60 percentile, because you're making fewer silly, stupid mistakes because you're not questioning yourself and changing, well, I did one 2 weeks ago where it looked like this, so now it's the other thing, and you will play ping pong in your head for 6 hours. And you cannot afford to do that. You do it, you don't care. Once you see that beautiful 4-letter word online in September, pass, you don't care which freaking questions you got wrong. But if you start questioning yourself on every question, well, it could be, it might be, then you're in big trouble. And so, during your commercial bar prep, if you look at a question and you're sure you were right, and you look at the answer and you go, oh man, you know what? I thought I was right, but I totally blew that sentence. I didn't see the phrase. That's on me. That's why I say the most important thing is to be honest with yourself. That's a very difficult thing to do when your ego and confidence are teetering like on thin ice. You have to be honest with yourself. Did I miss it because I screwed up the reading? That's on me. Am I sure that I knew it? And I know that that should have been, and the answer, the explanation is BS by itself, because it's basically telling me that 99% of the time I'd be right, but in this weird way I'd be wrong. Then you say, delete that, I'm not worrying about that. I'll get my 70%, and that'll be one of the 30% I'm going to give them. You can't be perfect, so don't overcompensate. You have to know when to let the questions go. Front row people. You have to know that you're not going to know it all. And if you start taking notes, bless the one, for every explanation, which is not a problem in having the first time taken. You look at the explanation. Ooh, in this scenario, in 1834, there's a case that says, I didn't know that. They didn't talk about that in the lecture material. Let me write that down. You will be making outlines just from the explanations. And then it'll take you 7 hours to do 15 questions. And all you will have is a much larger outline. Remember, when you do your average MBE question, whatever questions you're doing, you should know. When you made a mistake, it was either because when you read the first line of the explanation, oh my God, I forgot that definition. I forgot that word. Go back and review. Or reading comprehension. I screwed up my reading. Or it's a BS question, throw it away, let's move on. If you read something in the explanation because you forgot the rule, it was a law-based mistake, I just forgot. And you go back in your own notes and you fix it. Don't start outlining a whole paragraph because it'll take you frickin' forever. I would find a nickel for every email I had to send to someone in the middle of bar prep who says, I'm falling behind. Why are you falling behind? Well, these questions are taking me too long. Why are they taking me too long? Because I'm outlining everything. Who the hell told you to do that? It's a question and answer. Pick something and let's go. If you forgot, redo your outline for 3 or 4 words. And remember, you are not professional document makers. You are not outline makers. You want to work for West Publishing, you do that after you pass the bar exam. You want to work for Barbara and Kaplan and write your own I think I can write better questions, John. Then do that after you pass the bar exam. So remember, for the questions themselves, they will frustrate you. So, life's not fair. If you're getting 5 out of 10 right, and you're making too many of those law mistakes, that's your sign to stop doing the questions, call time out, and I got to go back and review my law. You're making the silly reading mistakes, and number 1, the first thing you got to check in, are you doing it too late at night or too early in the morning and you don't know what the hell you're reading? Right? So generally during the day, are you missing the last 4 or 5 out of 6 or 7 because you can't see straight, as you're seeing, and we're going to see right now in a minute. Reading 35 con law questions is a lot different than reading 35 tort questions. And so on a given day, you have to be honest with yourself. How do I feel? Am I starting to get to the end of the line here? And after 25 or 26, when I start making silly mistakes, I would be better off spending 15 black letter. Remember, don't be a robot. What works for the country may not necessarily work for you on an individual day. That's why you have mentors, that's why you have a bar staff. Use it. Don't call everyone on July 4th with 37 questions and issues you have about bar prep. Because all we can do for you by July 4th is pray. That's all it's going to be. So it's too late to do any help. So day by day, week by week, got to be very conscious of where your strengths and weaknesses are. Fix the problem as you're going along. Good? Good. How many kind of negligence questions are there? 3. Kind of low and subdued. Right? I talked about screwing up the questions. Everyone gets pissed off in the press. How many kind of negligence questions are there? 3. Much better. You can't be tired already, for God's sake. The old-fashioned neg-level. Yes. How many elements of negligence? Doesn't matter what the number. Let's just do it. Look at you. Okay, the first one is duty. Next. Breach. The next. Violation. How many times? 2. The first one is actual. Defined by the. There's a bar calling. Defined by the. Proximate cause defined by whether it was foreseeable. The last thing you need? Damages. Is emotional damages enough? No. Is there a thorn in every rose bush? No. You will know because they tell you. Excellent. There's negligence per se. The violation of a statute. You have to be part of the class. Which has nothing to do with the Latin thing called racism. And you know you're doing a racism question because one or both parties or everyone makes some sort of a motion. And then you're looking to ask whether a jury can confer. For strict liability. How many kinds of strict liabilities are there? 2. There's the liable and the kaboom. That has nothing to do with the other thing over there called. And how many kinds of product liabilities are there? 3. There's the one with the N, the W, warranty, and the big one, strict product liability. The product left the manufacturer enough. Or there's an inadequate or failure to warn. No. Equal protection is about what? Equal. Some people are being treated differently. How many levels of scrutiny are there? 3. The big one is strict. Who gets that one? 3. And what is the buzzword test in strict scrutiny? The government has to prove that they have to show up. Who gets the middle one? And who has the burden in that one? To show that the law is. And who gets the little one? And who has the burden in that one? To show that the law is not. There you go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, that was okay. You're reading books. That's what we talk about. If you know it, and you can speak it, then you can apply it on a question. And when you forget something, driving here, driving home, at lunch, wherever the hell you are, when everyone keeps asking the same freaking question over and over. How many hours?
Married Tuesday. Married on Tuesday. This upcoming Tuesday.
11 o'clock at night when you're doing whatever the hell you're doing, and you're not officially studying. That's as important, if not more important, on week 2, week 3, week 4 of bar prep. Because if you're just going along and singing a song, and then you forget what you did 3 weeks ago, you are going to have a very, very, very big trouble on your ending midterm, and then there's a lot of emotional distress. You keep the review all the time, and you shove it in there over and over again. That is the point. And when you forget something, don't have a panic attack, you're going to forget. You think I know all this stuff because I studied every day? The day after the bar exam, I forget half of this material. You think I talk about easements with my wife all day long? No. Where's my wife on Sunday?
Grocery.
Good job. I'm not in. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, fuck one, bro.
You really can't make this stuff up. No matter how much I try. Well, except for maybe 2 people. What are the rest of you? Who are? That's it. All right. Page 7. Page 7.
I'm trying.
What?
Here we go. You did not do this question
75.
yesterday.
75.
Now that you're fresh and energized,
Total.
you did not cover this rule.
Where's surveys out?
You may or may not know it from school. I have no idea. But I know I don't talk about it. It's the whole reason why we're going to do this question. So, just sit back in the chair. We're going to look at question 151. Don't look at the answer choices. Just read the 3 paragraphs and the alleged all of the questions. 151. hell's going on? You're sitting in the middle of the exam. Oh my God, it's a long time. Like 1:51, middle of the afternoon. In plain English, this is about what and a what? Can't hear you. This is about a what and a what, a who and a who, a what happened. What's the factual one plain English sentence summary? I'm sorry? Plaintiff and estate. Anything even more simple? I'm sorry? State employee. More specific. I can't look for an answer about state employee, can I? I can't look for an answer about plaintiff state. I mean, all you with the immunity words. Don't you know what plain English means? Because all the ones at the back have never used the word immunity, not at 9 o'clock in the morning. So what is the basic plain English? Is this about what happens in one state versus another state? Huh? Anything else? You guys are not blinking already in the back. Is there a problem back there? Something. Give me a sign of life. Bless you. Is this about what happens in one state versus another state? State blue, state red. I believe they repeat like 5 times. Is this about the relationship between state blue and state red? Yes? No? I'm open to suggestions. I feel like you're fighting me on this one. The whole idea was to be simple. Is this between what happens between 2 states? Yes. No? Again, I'm happy from the back. Don't need anything from the bleachers. Anything. Yes, state blue, state red. If you need who needs the word immunity, God bless you. All I need to know is this about state blue and state red? Yes. That's the basic issue. Yes. So I know my answer has to be about something between state blue and state red. Read answer choice A. I'm sorry, so you look at the call to question. Can the injured persons recover the full balance of their blue state judgment from the state of red, and the enforcement person then filed in the court of red? Talk about BS. Doesn't tell you the name of the rule, does it? Just a lot of words after you've read 3 long paragraphs. So what do you do in those cases? You sum it? Okay, this has something to do with red versus blue, blue versus red. That's all I know. That or 120 grand in debt you should be able to do. The whole thing is red, blue, blue, red. Answer choice A. Does that look good because it's talking about something to do with blue versus red? Yes. Gotta get one more. Okay. B. What is B talking about? Say it. Equal from. Doesn't it say that in your student edition over there? Is there a big paragraph of bullshit in B? Does it say the phrase equal protection? Do they eventually give you a phrase, a name, a something you can grab onto that you should already know from yesterday? Yes. Is B the answer to this question? No. Does this thing have anything to do with equal protection? No. What sound do I want to hear? C. What is C talking about? Even if you don't know what it says, what is C talking about? Good. And what does the 10th Amendment have to do with this question? I don't even know what the 10th Amendment is, but who the hell? D. What is D talking about? Negligence. Does that have anything to do with this? As the beautiful As the beautiful Scully says, all things being equal, the simplest answer is always the correct one. What is the whole story talking about, even if you don't understand the call of the question, in plain English, what is the call of the question asking about? Something about the red and the blue and the red. Is this a flag question? I don't know, but it's about the blue and the red and the blue. What is the simplest answer talking about the red and the blue? What is B talking about? What is C talking about? What is D talking about? So if I got like Price is Right, or the old game show, and I had 4 doors in front of me, and I said, you can choose from blue, red, equal protection, negligence, or 10th Amendment. Which one would you pick to play connect the dots? Blue, red. Done. On question 151 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, with 50 more questions to go, when you're dog tired and you hit the wall. You read the hypo and you dumb it down. I don't know if they taught you full faith and credit. In most schools, they don't. I don't talk about it because there may be one question. There it was. And even if you don't, they're going to talk to you about it in Barbary Town and Themis at home, and it'll be for 5 minutes, and it'll fall through the cracks somewhere. But does that mean you don't know what you're doing? No. And the repeat takers always pick equal protection. Why? Sounds good. I know there's a lot of questions on equal protection, so I must have something with equal protection. Maybe the 2 states are being treated differently. By the way, just for back to definition, Legal protection is about what? It's about people, not
I
states.
wish all my classes were like this.
But even if you forgot that, is this about people being treated differently? No. It's something to do with the blue-red thing. Just like I said yesterday for 20 minutes. You do the horrible property question, and all you know is they're talking about the 8 more the G guy. And you don't know why, who, what, or where. You're going to pick the simplest answer talking about the, because what the hell else are you going to do? Stare at the ceiling, skip it, pick a stupid Latin answer? No. You be a smart test taker. And that's the 60 or 70 questions, no matter who you are, how much you study, how many questions. There's going to be 60 or 70 questions. I have no freaking idea, John. And that's what you have to do on those questions. That's their game. Barbary, Kaplan, Themis, Adaptive R, RMAX, Critical Pass, all of the products, no matter if you memorize everything, there's going to be 70 hypos you've never seen in your life and you don't even know what the hell they're talking about. That's the bar exam. That's that room. That's why nothing can simulate what it's like in that room. And that's why you have to be mentally prepared with an approach. I'm going to get a lot of the ones I should be getting right. And on the ones I have no clue, I'm going to dumb it down. Because I'm making a question not to screw you, for the whole country. And all they're asking me to do, again on a long one, where it's very weird law, is they give you 3 moronic answers that have nothing to do with anything you've ever heard of that related to that hypo. And one of them that kind of talks about blue and red and blue. Dumb everything down. Connect the dots and get the hell out. Done. Conversely, based on law you would have, could have, should have known, please turn the page to number 9, page 9. We did not do this question yesterday, so we talked about your statutory first degree, second degree, so you want to do that one. So page 9, question 16. Page 9, question 16. Again, always, you can have your notes out, of course, refer to your notes, of course. The last paragraph, they gave you your statutory first degree, second degree, and what is involved, yes? Yes. Or backwards. For manslaughter. Did they give you both definitions or only one definition of manslaughter here? Everyone see that? They gave you both the provocation and the negligence, so it could have been either one for this particular hypo. Out of the 4 definitions of murder, which one or ones did they define as first degree? And then 2? Excellent. And what did they say that second degree was? Everything else, which left the other? Excellent. So all you got to do is from the facts know what the hell did the guy do? Factually, what did he do? He dropped a where? Who's on a highway? Does it say the highway was closed for construction? No. Does it say that they blocked off all the exits for 30 miles and no one should have been there? No. We got to change the hypo. Yes. But you'll know that hypo when they. But what did it say here? He dropped the bowling ball on a. Which of the 4 murders or the 2 manslaughters, how did he act? Which you know is defined by? So now I know what I'm looking for. What's the correct answer? Done. Again, another example of if you just look at the answer choices before you know what you're looking for, you have no way whatsoever of actually knowing what the answer would be. You can guess if it's a virtual order, and the repeat takers always pick first degree because it always sounds like the most serious crime. Is it always true that that would be the most serious crime? Yes. But that doesn't mean that even if that's not what the fact pattern is always talking about. All you have to do now is don't get cocky and arrogant, because it's 30 questions, 20 questions, 100 questions. They're going to give you another hypo that looks just like this. And then either they're going to say that the highway was closed for construction, or they're going to change the statutory definitions. And they're going to put reckless disregard in first degree. Each hypo, they're just changing. Anybody here who has been to New York? Raise your hand. Okay, thank God. The rest of you get a life after the bar. That should be where you go as soon as the bar is over. But on the streets of New York, you got the convents that play a shell game. Right? They put a little ball in the shell. You allegedly are stupid enough to put a buck down. They're going to move the shells all the way around really fast. And allegedly you're going to find them put the shells in the pocket with the little balls in the pocket. You got no shot. But it's fun to play anyway. What's the point? That's what they're doing with the answer choices. They're moving the words around. The law can't change. The law is a little ball. There's a ball somewhere. The question is they're just moving the words around a little bit. That's why you get a headache. Because you're thinking, yesterday I did one, it was over there. Today I did one, it was over there. That's because they're changing the story around and you start questioning your knowledge of the law. Don't do that. If you know you forgot a rule, that's on you, and I got to go back and review. But the trick, since you love that word, is they're changing the facts, they're changing the story, they're changing the question a little bit. Because like the cliche goes, how many ways can you test on the great heart murder? There are people, there aren't people. They're just moving the words around. And in that room, on those 200 questions, there's a cliche, not to compare it, God forbid. But, take liberty. There's the cliche, the fog of war. Right? Only no matter how much planning you do before a battle, before a war, once the first bullet goes off, there's the fog of war. All hell breaks loose. The greatest planning in the world goes out the window because everything goes crazy. That's that bar exam. No matter how much you think you know, when you go up that escalator, and I don't go up, I stay on the ground floor. That's where it's safe. I know where I am down there. I don't go up there. When you go up that escalator and they shut that door, and those little Nazi stormtroopers, they call fuckers. You'll be sitting at the table, and you'll see, you can ask your friends when they were there, you'll be sitting there, and you'll be going into question 30 or 40, and all of a sudden you'll feel a hand on your shoulder, and they'll move your sheet. Oh, you need to cover up your sheet. Someone may be cheating from you. Like, who's cheating from you? 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to finish, and they're moving my stuff around. You don't believe me? You ask anyone who's been in the room. They're going to announce, that witch is going to announce after lunch, on the second day, on the MBE day, they're going to announce the date that the scores are going to be released. Like the second Monday in September, usually, but they'll put it on their website the weekend before. They just don't tell anybody. Why? Why are they moving you around and touching your stuff in the middle of the exam? Why are they announcing the release date at lunch before the last 100 questions when they know you want them to shut up when we go? Because they're playing a mind game with you. That's why you have to walk through a metal detector. That's why you have to do a fingerprint. That's why you have to wear a badge. They're trying to get in your head. I know they got in mine. That's why I don't go up there. Because I still have deja vu and nightmares about the whole experience. And anyone who's been there knows that's what they're doing. That's why there has to be a singular focus on how I read these freaking questions. And you have to go in there with a chip on your shoulder the size of the rock of Gibraltar. I used to sit in the lobby, but the battery table is right by the front door where most people come in. And we used to sit there and bet who were the first-time takers and who were the repeat takers. Because just by the body language alone, you could tell who was the first-timer and who's a repeat taker. Because they're first-time takers, they walk around, especially on the first day, they walk around with a little plastic bag with their little earrings and their pillow and their blankie and their marker and their ID, and they don't blink. They walk around like where's the room? And they're going 100 miles an hour with the little outline and the cards. The repeat papers, they come in like 3 minutes before the exam starts, and they're walking over like, yeah, whatever, we'll see. I don't know, let them go ahead. I'm going to fail anyway, what the hell difference is it? They're walking bent over with this bag of bricks on their shoulders. Because they know what it feels like, they know what it smells like, they know what it tastes like, and they're just going up here, go ahead, hit me again, go ahead. You have to go in there saying, I know this freaking law. I know what you're doing to me. You can't outthink these people. You just have to see what they're doing and play along. So if all you're going to do is give me just 4 murders, they can't change the law between now and July. What they can do is manipulate how it's being tested. And if you think you can figure out their own little Da Vinci Code hidden meaning, you can't. Well, you don't have to. You just have to say, all I see is what you're doing to me. You're moving stuff around. And when they finally give you those questions during your bar prep, hey, they're making this trick question, this is totally contradicting. Where the hell did they get this explanation? You have to build a confidence to throw it in the garbage. I'm getting my 6.5 out of 10 right. Who the hell cares about that? Don't micromanage. You don't have time to do that in the middle exam. Yeah, 1.8 minutes. They're all worth 1 point. This isn't Jeopardy where you get the triple score or whatever the hell that is. 1 point, the long one, the short one, the tort, the con law, thank God they're worth 1. You do what you can, you keep moving, and you scoop up as many points as you can. Because the good news is every point can be the difference. And if you don't know it, and all you can say is, this has something to do with red versus blue, blue versus red. Then as the beautiful thank you says, all things being equal, now when you see it, you shut up and you get the help, and then you go do another criminal law question like this one. And you be careful, how are they manipulating the statutory language? Because I didn't know last week, it didn't look like this, John. Well, you know, it's a free country. They can change the hypo around any way they want. As long as you slow to bleed and know what you're looking for. You got it. You got enough of them. Not all of them. No way. But you got more than enough to see that beautiful word online in September, which is all you should care of. And then you will have tears of joy. Beautiful. Let's move along to contracts. In your handout, the outline material is contracts. There's information of contracts, which is right out in the con law material.
I give up on life. Can't get the ball. I'm not taking the ball. These people are too left there. I'm with you.
Obviously, formation is a big deal with contracts. To me, personally, I think the contract questions are the worst questions of the whole exam. I would rather do 50 property questions than 10 contract questions.
Daddy just texted me. Daddy says, good job,
The
Clay.
con law questions look a little better now?
Solid.
Okay, so have a little faith. Jesus Christ. Contract questions are the worst. They are the most difficult to spot the issue because they will all look alike. John and Bob entered into a contract for the widgets. One of us ripped the other off, and now we want damages. You could always argue consideration. You can always argue statute of clause. You can always argue remedies, God forbid. It can go in 5 different places. If you like contracts, good for you. I'm just being general. For me, I hate it. And because the law, there's a lot more stuff to know. As opposed to tort and crim law, which has your one-line definitions in consideration, as we'll learn. Third party, assignment, parole evidence. In each one of the subtopics, there isn't a one-line definition. There's 5 or 6 little mini definitions. So there's a larger UCC, don't even get me started, right? They hate UCC. From that, there's no escape from that garbage. You can study UCC till July and still not know everything. That's why, again, you have to be very careful not to micromanage and try to know everything. Don't go buy a UCC book and start learning everything. But back row has to know the 7 or 8 rules you have to know, and those you know. And then the front row in July, because you're doing so well, we'll try to learn some other weird stuff on top of that. Same with remedies. You have to know the 4 or 5 basic ones we'll talk about. But you can say, you know what? I can see that in the hypo. But the buyer damages special when only partial was paid and half was delivered on a Tuesday basic definition, and that'll be just part of the 20 or 30% I have to give them. If you want to do that in July, then God bless you. But right now, you have to know basic reading comprehension. So, for formation, big mother load of points here, and these are all reading comprehension questions. Basic law, because we all know from our contract experience in first year, these are great essay topics. Offer. April 1st, I call you. April 2nd, you call me. You've all seen those hypos 1,000 times. And I can argue till 4 o'clock this afternoon. But you've only got 1.8 minutes. Correct. So, you always have to set the elements of a valid contract are?
Acceptance and consideration.
Beautiful. The key with these questions are that there will be some questions only testing you on the validity of an offer. Totally separate questions talking about some rules regarding acceptance. Yes. And then totally separate 7 or 8 definitions talking about consideration. And they have nothing to do with each other. But it will all blend together because every one of these hypos are about you and me calling each other, talking to each other for 2 or 3 days. So all the answers will look good because they're all relevant to whether it's a valid contract. That's why you have to spend that much time in the para seeing what the facts are talking about. So a couple of rules that they always test on relating to an offer itself, which again has nothing to do with the other 2 things. Generally, legally, what is an offer? Some manifestation of your intent to enter a contract. And what does an offer generally mean? Specific terms. The more specific the terms are, the more valid the offer is. How do you manifest your intent? Term, price, quantity, description. The more specific the terms are, and generally, you're looking for a present intent. I want to sell you my car. Not one of these days I'm going to consider selling you my car. Present intent. Enter into a contract. Specific terms. It's all language, it's all semantics. The more specific, the more present, the more detailed terms, the more likely it will be an offer. So, in half of these hypos, much of the conversation in the hypo, nothing legally happened. If John calls Bob on April 1st and says, you know, one of these days I'm considering buying a new car. I may put my car up for sale. Is that an offer? No. So for purposes of an MBE question, has anything legally important happened yet? No. On April 2nd, you call me and say, you know, when you decide to sell the car, John, give me a call, I'm going to be interested. Is that an offer? No. No. On April 3rd, I call you, you know, I saw a different kind of car today. I'm really thinking about this. Is there an offer? No. On April 4th, I call you back and say, you know, I think I'm going to put it up for sale. I'm thinking somewhere maybe a little more than 30 grand. What are you thinking about? Would you say that's an offer? No. I can keep going, but you get the point. So these are very wordy hypos. And just because there's communication does not mean there's a valid legal offer. Which means everything I just said in a given MBE hypo is just a bunch of. That's correct. So many times at the bottom it will say, what's the legal relationship between John and Bob? As of April 4th, was there a contract? As of April 4th, what is the legal status? And much of the time the answer is nothing. But there will be those other counter offer. Ooh, wait a minute, let me think about this. I think I missed something. No, that's why you have to know what you're looking for before you look at the answer. Because those other answers about rejection and counter offer and revocable and irrevocable and all those things will look very good. And an insecure reader will get into the, but not you because you're, get better. I'm older. What's the next rule to know? With an exclamation point. Offers are revocable. Once a valid offer has been made, if I call you and I say, okay, I finally decided, I'm going to sell you my black car, model number this, $22,500 bucks, are you interested? Is there now an offer? Yes. And as soon as you see that on the hypo, you make some sort of a hieroglyphic notation in the hypo, offer, something, April 4th, there's an offer. Because now you know that stuff can happen. Everything before that's a bunch of baloney. Our offer is revocable. Yes. So, once I put a valid offer now to you, you have a couple of choices, correct? You have the power of acceptance, right? Offers floating around up there in thin air somewhere. You can just say you can accept. And what's the plain English word you can use to accept? Yeah, now look at you. Yes. Can you also just give me the money? Yeah. You can words or actions. We'll get to that later, but then just listen. You can accept. What else can you do? You can reject. You can say 22,000, John. It seems fair, but I couldn't go more than 20,000. Have you accepted now? No. What have you done? Done. Do we have a contract now? No. So if it was April 7th or 8th, which is back and forth, yes. As of April 7th, when you make a counter offer, do we have a contract? No. So again, the contract, the question at the bottom just said, what's the legal relationship between John and Bob? Again, the answer is nothing. Nothing. You have a counter offer, you start all over up. So all these dates and words are literally like little timeline. That's how you, okay, nothing, garbage, offer right there, offer, got it. Okay, did anything happen after that? Now is there, what is the other guy going to do? Now again, I say this, I am not being facetious, I'm being serious hard attack. Like I said about the question, I personally, as you can sense from yesterday and all day today, I am not somebody who likes to use words, this is for myself and for most students. I don't like to use the terms offeror, offeree, obligor, obligee, assinor, assinee, delegator, delegate, blah, blah, blah. One, because I don't understand it. And two, it's not going to be on a question like that. It's going to be John and Bob, a friend and a guy. And in 1.8 minutes, not a 3-hour final exam, I don't care what those names are, I got to know who the hell the friend is. So, if you like those words, if that helps you understand from the lecture, by all means, of course, you should do it. But the problem with that is that many people will end up writing charts on whoever with the triangles and the directions and the arrows, and by the time you figure out what the hell's supposed to happen, it's 3 minutes later and now on the high fives. So, you just try to dumb everything down. The guy who makes the offer, once I make the offer, does the guy have the power to revoke it? Yes. Because offers are revocable. Until I hear from you, the other guy, however you like to phrase that, God bless you, then can you accept, reject, or make a counteroffer? Yes. Until you do that, is the offer just kind of dangling out there somewhere? Yes. Because offers are revocable. Done. And how long will the offer generally in common law stay revocable? Reasonable amount of time. Excellent. Again, back to what the hell is reasonable, John? They'll have to tell you. That's all. That's all. There is so-called direct revocation. I can call you up and say, sorry, I changed my mind. I'm not selling the car anymore. And once I say that to you, is your power of acceptance over? Yes. That's the so-called direct revocation, the obvious one. The highly tested one is the so-called indirect revocation. Offers are revocable. But if the person who receives the offer, you, learns that I've made a deal with a third party, have you also now lost your power to accept? Yes. Once you learn that I've made a deal with somebody else, your power to accept is over, and if you call me right away and say, John, here's the money, let's go, I'm shoving the check in your face. Is it too late now? Yes. Because I've made a deal with somebody else. So if I call you tomorrow morning, and I say, I'm selling my car, $22,500. Are you interested? I'm interested, but I don't know if I can get the money together. I'll let you know. Okay? That's at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 4 o'clock, you have to go for a Starbucks run. You go to Starbucks, you're still thinking about it, and who do you bump into? The wonderful Steve. Steve's there getting his grande, latte, mochaccino, whatever, some eclectic drink that only Steve would know about. And he's online waiting. Steve, what's up? Good to see you. How's everything going? Pretty good. I'm having a really good day. Steve, why are you having such a good day? I just bought John's car. What? John's car, the black one? Yeah. That little rat thing. I sold it. The minute you learn that I sold the car to Steve, So when you call me and say, John, I'm coming over in 10 minutes with a check, do I have to take it?
No.
Because I've made a deal with somebody and now it's too done. And my favorite question, how will you know that I made a deal with Steve? Because they done. But otherwise, our offer is revocable. There's 3 exceptions. When is an offer irrevocable? Oh, look at you, I can sit down. Okay, good. One is the option contract. I promise to keep the offer open. Is that enough for a valid option contract? No. You need additional consideration. Done. And how will you know that I gave additional consideration? Because they'll tell you. Done. Because if I call you and say, I would like to sell you my car for $22,000, and you say, I got to get the money together, I don't know, let me think about it. And I said, tell you what I'm going to do. I'll keep the offer open for you for 10 days. Is that a valid option contract?
Nope.
So tomorrow, can I change my mind or sell to somebody else?
Yep.
If you say, I'm going to give you $100, and I'll keep the offer open for 13 days. Now, what is the status of the offer for those 13 days? Here's a trick question. On day 14, I haven't heard from you. $100, you gave the valid consideration. Promise to keep the offer open. Valid option contract. 13 days. We haven't talked. Day 14 comes along. I call you up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I say, sorry, I changed my mind. I'm not selling a car. I'm hereby revoking my offer. May I do that?
Yes.
If you call me up on day 14 at 9 o'clock in the morning and say, I accept, I'm coming over with a check. Can you do that?
Yes.
Well, quiet. Why so quiet? Why can't you do it? What? Once the period, hear me out, here we go. Once the period of irrevocability passes, what happens to the status of the offer? It just goes back to being, because did we have any communications yet? No. So once the time passes, does everything go away? No. Because the whole purpose of this stupid little rule was whether the offer stayed revocable or became irrevocable. So once the time passes, then it now just becomes whoever calls the other one is going to win. Because on day 14 at 9 o'clock in the morning, did the whole contract go away? No. It just means that the irrevocability status has now passed. And it just reverts back to the default rule. What is the default rule? That offers are revocable. And how will you know who goes first? Because they will tell you. Reading comprehension. Good. So I'm looking for whether there was a promise to keep the offer open and the consideration. Because that's the other element I need. That's the definition. If I got both of those, it's going to be irrevocable. But once I go past the point of time, the offer just becomes irrevocable. And whoever calls the other one wins. Similarly, or I should say, option contract. That is between lay people, regular people, non-merchants. You and me, I'm going to sell you my car. If we're talking about a firm offer, that's between merchants, the wholesaler and the retailer. Otherwise, does the firm offer basically look the same? Yes, there's a promise to keep the offer open. I'm the orange grower or the peach grower, and you've got the fruit stand, and I call you up and say, I got a great deal on peaches this week. A lot of fuzz. Special. Extra 16 pieces. What do you say? I don't know. Let me think about it. I don't know if I can do that many peaches. The fuzz is going to get all mushy in a couple of weeks. I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll tell you what. I promise to keep the offer open. Is that enough for a valid firm offer? What do you need for a valid firm offer between merchants for the firm offer? You need a writing signed by the merchant. Writing. In option contract, you need additional consideration. In the firm offer, you need a writing. So every time they do these hypos, usually there's a phone conversation between the wholesaler and the retailer. Ding, ding. That doesn't mean it's a valid firm offer by itself just because we're talking, correct? Because additional to the call, we need some sort of a writing. And if there's no writing in the facts, is it a valid firm offer? No. And therefore the offer just remains revocable. Exactly right. In a firm offer, in this particular hypo, the maximum amount of time that the firm offer will stay irrevocable is what? 3 months. 3 months. If no time is stated, the maximum amount of time is 90 days. Versus again in the option contract, it's a reasonable amount of time. Firm offer, merchants, 90 days max. Just a definition. Beautiful. Lastly, my favorite, the unilateral contract. Unilateral contract. Hopefully we know, maybe not, the difference between a unilateral contract and a bilateral contract. Okay, we'll see. In a bilateral contract, that means it's a promise for a promise. Versus a unilateral contract, it's a promise for a performance. I say to you, I promise to pay you $1,000 if you paint my house. Is that a unilateral or a bilateral contract? Unilateral contract. Why are we talking about this? Because the third exception is when you see a unilateral hypo. I promise to pay you this if you do something, if you perform. The moment you begin performance, the offer becomes irrevocable. Second, this is again why the reading content and the issue spotting I think is so important. But does that mean you owe me money the minute you begin performance? No. I don't owe you money until you finish up. So the same exact hypo will be asked 2 different ways. And that's why you've always got to slow to bleep. Yeah. Even in July, when you've seen 80 examples of both of them, I know where this is going. I've seen this 100 times. You don't know where it's going until you read the bottom and see. So if I call you up and say, I promise to pay you $1,000 if you paint my house. You come over to the house Monday morning. You got the hat, the overalls, the ladder, the big wheel wiper thing, and the first wax on, wax off you do. I come out of the house. You know what? I decide I don't like it. I'm going to go for the aluminum siding. Can I do that? No. Because the moment you went wax on and wax off, my offer to you became irrevocable. And now, do you have to have the right to finish the job? Yes. On Monday at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, do I owe you the $1,000? Do I? No, because you haven't finished the job. And how will you know when you finish the job? So how will you know whether the question is about whether I can revoke my offer or whether I owe you any money? Because again, I have to. And all you have to do is slow to bleep. Done. Make sure that you are distinguishing. Are they asking me about whether John can change his mind? Or are they asking about whether I owe you the money? Those are 2 different questions. Same exact story. And that's why the issue spotting, and obviously as you already hopefully said from yesterday, will they always give me both answers about the money and the yes? Because they know some of you are doing the one finger skimming because you're getting pissed off, cold, and hungry, and you just want it to be over. And you just fly, I know it is, yeah, I've seen this. No, you haven't. You haven't seen it until they freaking tell you. And again, if you do that at home, or the library, or wherever your little happy place is where you practice, you're going to do it in the freaking convention center when you, of course, you just want it to be over. And that's why I said, you do every freaking second in that room, and you slow the bleep down, because you don't want to ever go back to that wretched room ever up. Yeah. That is correct. So at the end of the day, as the cliche likes to say, I'm talking on TV, at the end of the day, the story is that all of these hypos will eventually blend together. That's the problem. That's why a repeat taker has a struggle, because literally, no fault of theirs, after you've done 5,000 examples, everything looks the same. Everything looks the same. You think you've seen 100 examples, I know that, I know that, I know that. And then in that room, it's very difficult to distinguish what the hell's going on. And that's why when you know the least, as I showed you yesterday from the stats, that's why you statistically have the best chance. Because you trust your gut and you shut up and you get the hell done. Let's go to acceptance. The big rule to, obviously the basic definition of acceptance. Hopefully you know what acceptance looks like, yes? Can you accept by words or actions?
Yes.
Yes. Can you generally accept any way you like? Yes. But if I, who makes the offer, if I request, if I specify the manner in which you accept, do you have to comply with that?
Yes.
If I give you a specific way to accept, then you have to do what I ask you, correct?
Yes.
But if I don't say it, can you pay me? Can you say it? Can you do it any which way you want?
Yes.
Yes. So again, just be careful for the one hypo where I ask you to do it a certain way. I need you to come to my house, give me the money, and shake my hand. Now do you need to come to my house and shake my hand?
Yes.
Done. The big rule to know for the acceptance is the overrated mailbox rule. The mailbox rule. Stupid. They waste weeks on this stupidity. And it's a little stupid rule, which I admit doesn't make any sense, but this is the rule. If you are accepted via from the Latin mailbox rule, that's what the name of it is. If you're accepting via the mail, the black letter rule says acceptance is effective when sent. The millisecond you drop the letter in the mailbox, do we have a contract?
Yes.
Because acceptance is effective when it's
Yes.
doesn't matter when the hell I get it, does it? And how will you know the date that you dropped it in the mailbox? Then you take your little mechanical pencil with your hieroglyphic notation and put a little K. As soon as you see April 3rd, 4th, or 5th, sent, contract, there it is, done. Anything that happens after that is a bunch of, because once you know there's a contract, does anything else matter?
No.
And you will know because acceptance is effective when it is done. But John, there is an exception. I'm getting to that, but don't worry about the exception until you know the black letter. And never pick the freaking exception because you think you're trying to trick you. You have to know what the trick looks like. What is the exception to the mailbox rule? For some ungodknown reason, if I send you a rejection first, if I mail you a rejection first, and then I change my mind, and I send you an acceptance after that. Again, it's stupid. That's why you have to just see it. It makes no sense. I send you a letter offering to buy my car on April 1. On April 2nd, you send me a letter saying, no thank you. On April 3rd, you send me a letter saying, had a change of heart. I would like to buy your car. Check is enclosed. So what did I send first? For unknown reasons, a day later, you sent me a. When you see that hypo, that's what I'm talking, it's all issues on it. When I see the hypo, first you mail the rejection, then you send an acceptance. Front row people, don't ask why. It doesn't matter. Now I know, ding ding, I'm doing the exception to the mailbox rule. And when I see the hypo, rejection followed by acceptance, what does the rule say? Whatever arrives first wins. Whatever letter arrives at my door first, that's going to prevail. If the acceptance comes first, we have a contract. If the rejection comes first, we got nothing. And how will you know what arrives first? Because they, as some infamous friend of mine, a non-lawyer, heard me talk about this a couple of months ago, and he came up to me afterwards and said, I know this may sound like one of those questions, John, but aren't they going to give you a question where both letters arrive at the same time? That's because he said, correct. Even if they arrive on the same day, would they have to give me something about a time stamp or some way of knowing? Yes. Acceptance is effective when. But if I get a hypo where the rejection went first, followed by an accept, then I have to sift through the garbage and see what arrived first, and that's what's going to prevail. Two hypos under the mailbox rule heading, but two different issues, two different fact patterns. The story can't look the same. Yes? Yes. Consideration. I know I'm pushing my luck. We're going to go about another 10 minutes. Get the freaking rule down, then you can go get the caffeine fix. Okay? Here we go. Chop, chop. Consideration. Offer, acceptance, consideration. Definition. Bargain for exchange. is valid consideration, a bargain for exchange. If as long as I'm not insane, can I sell you my house for $1? Yes. If it was worth it to me, is that valid consideration? Yes. So that case they wasted a whole semester on, even a is valid consideration, correct? Even a little nothing is valid consideration. So never think that that's when you want the amount. As long as I gave you something and you gave me something, we each gave something up, will that be valid consideration? Yes. That should be it for consideration. But now we have to talk about 6 or 7 separate little mini rules that relate to valid consideration. This is under the heading consideration. When you're doing questions, these are other versions of consideration rules. Number 1, the gift. Everybody hates the gift questions because everything looks good with the gift. There's 2 rules to know about the gift. A promise to give a gift is not consideration. A promise to give a gift. I promise to give you a birthday present, a graduation present. But then you don't call me on my birthday. And I get pissed at you. Can I renege on giving you the graduation present? Yes, because there was no consideration for my promise in the first place. A promise to give you a gift. We're not giving anything up. I'm just stupidly offering you something. There's no two-way deal here. So if I get pissed, I change my mind. I can, because there's the promise alone is invalid consideration. If I give you the present, because I'm then can I get the gift back? No. How will you know if I was stupid enough to give you the check, or I just promised to give you the check? But both typos will look identical. Literally 2 words will separate one question from the other. Promise to give a gift, no consideration. I can get out of it. Giving the gift, valid consideration, I'm stuck. 2, past or moral consideration. Past moral consideration. I just did a nice thing. I did it immoral. I did a nice thing. But I already did it. After, from the Latin past. After I did it, someone wants to reward me, promise me, and give me something. Not valid consideration. Because you did it on your own. You did something nice. That's why I say nice guys finish. That's correct. So, I'm at the beach. My wife is swimming. The riptide comes. Big wind and riptide. Taking her out to sea. She's screaming. I need help. John's reading a book on the sand. I can't go into the ocean, the riptide. I don't know how to swim against the current with the riptide because John is. But I can't swim against those riptides because I'm Jewish. That's why. Riptide, ocean. I'm going to drink a pool with an umbrella. I'm not going to do that. That's not for me. I'll take my foot in the toe of the water. That's not for me. I'm going to cement with rain service. That's where I need to go. Poor Mrs. John coming out to sea. You see this. So you jump in and save Mrs. John. And you bring her to shore. Thank you so much. God bless you. Come to the house tomorrow. I promise to give you $10,000. You show up tomorrow. Thank you. What a wonderful thing. Mrs. John's feeling better. Here's a $20 Dunkin' Donut gift card. Can I do that? Because you did something on your own. That's moral consideration. You did it on your own. Then I promised to do something for you. But can I renege on that? Yes. Because I didn't ask you to do it. Same hypo, 30 questions later, Mrs. John's going out to sea, and I yell, whoever can jump in and save Mrs. John, I will pay you $10,000. You jump in, save her, bring her to me. Now do I owe you the $10,000? Yes. Because do we have consideration? Yes. Did you do something because I asked you to? Yes. Do we have a deal, a bargain? Yes. So the same hypo, 4 words. In one, you did it on your own. In one, I asked you to do it. Past or moral consideration? No. statute of limitations. I have a debt, but the statute of limitations has already run, do I legally owe you anything right now? No. If I'm stupid enough to promise to pay you after the debt has already been discharged, is that valid consideration? Yes, because now I'm promising to do something I didn't have to do. Debt has already been wiped out by the statute of limitations, so I'm free and clear, but I promised to pay you anyway. Now I owe you the money, and you can hold me, you can enforce that promise. Similarly, a debt has been discharged by bankruptcy. I declare bankruptcy. My debts are legally wiped out. I don't owe anybody anything now. But I have the Jewish guilt. I feel bad. I owe $1,000. I really feel bad about this. You know what? I'm going to promise to pay you $1,000. Did I legally have any obligation to do so? No, because I successfully declared everything has been wiped. But I'm stupid enough to promise you after to pay you. Can you enforce that promise? Yes. Two separate hypos that should look very freaking obvious from the facts. Little mutant stories all by them. Will they literally have to use the phrase discharged by statute of limitations or bankruptcy? Done. Forbearance to sue. The promise to give up the right to sue. I could sue you, Bob, but I promise I'm not going to do it. I promise I'm not going to sue you. You literally have to see that language in the hypo. I promise not to sue you even though I have a right to do so. Is valid consideration. You can enforce that promise. Well, they literally have to use the language, I promise not to sue, I give up the right to sue. If we do this, I promise not to sue you.
Yes.
And if you see that language, I promise not to sue, is that valid consideration?
Yes.
Done. 3 hypos all by them. Beautiful. Lastly, the weird one. I'm sorry, 2 more. Promissory estoppel. Promissory estoppel. This is one of those rules which, again, this is my own personal pet peeve. You'll see when we come back after the break why I talk about this. Technically, in the books, not that it's wrong, this is one of those cases where, to me, everything gets mushed together. Promissory estoppel is a rule, but I like to talk about all by itself. But since you're all going to learn it under consideration in your books, this is why I talk about it here. Promissory estoppel is when we don't have a contract, but I do what to you? I make a promise. And my promise induces you to rely to your detriment. Promise, detrimental reliance. You do something you would not ordinarily have done because you're relying on what I promised you. You got up off the chair and did something because of what I said. You wouldn't have done it, but well, if you're going to tell me to do that, if you're going to give me that job, then I'm going to go get up and do something. Promise for detrimental reliance. Don't write this down. Promissory reliance in your books is going to be called a substitute for consideration. Because technically, no money changed hands. We didn't really have a deal. I just said something which induced you to rely to your detriment. And once you rely to your I'm a stop. Promissory estoppel. I'm a stop. I can't get out of going forward and doing whatever I promised to do. So they say that means now we have a contract. The problem with that is that there's a rule for consideration, which is bargained for. There's another rule called promissory estoppel, which is detrimental. They're in the same chapter, but those are 2 different definitions, 2 different concepts, correct, which need to be treated totally different. And you'll see answer choices talking about both of them in the same question. Are we talking about whether you and I just made a deal? Then that will be a regular consideration question. If we're talking about whether you relied because of something I said, then you're doing a question about promissory act. And an answer choice, which refers to rely, keep them separate. Done. Lastly, mercifully, accord and satisfaction. Accord and satisfaction. There's 3 hypos with this. 3 different hypos. And this all relates to a debt. I owe you money. I owe you money. Hypo number 1. know it and I know. No dispute. You go to your mailbox and you pick up a check from me for $500. And the check is marked paid in full. You just accept some payment of a debt you both acknowledge, and the check is marked paid in full. $500 of the $1,000. Can you come after me for the remaining $500? Yes. So why is it paid in full? I don't know. It's stupid. That's why I'm talking about this. Because the paid in full thing means nothing. Do we both acknowledge that I owe you $1,000? Yes. The debt is undisputed. You just got partial payment from me, and I put paid in full. What paid in full means, and you can still get the remaining $500 from John. That's typo number one. Typo number two, I owe you $1,000. Undisputed. We both acknowledge I owe you the money. You call me and say, when am I going to get the $1,000, John? I don't have it. I can give you $500. I'll tell you what, I need more than that. We settle on $750. I owe you $1,000. We both know that. But we make a deal, compromise, negotiate, pick a word. And we agree, we settle on a separate number. It was $1,000, now we agree, both of us, on $750. And I send you a check marked paid in full. If you take that money, can you come after me for the remaining $250? No. Think of the bill collector, the collection agency. Right? They call you 7,800 times a day. You finally speak to them. Mr. Grossman, how can we help you today? Well, if you stop calling me, that would be a good thing. But you owe Visa $2,000. What are we going to do? Let me help you out. Well, you can help me out by giving me $2,000. What can I tell you? If I have to do that, I would pay them. Well, what can we do? I've got like $800. I'm sorry, Mr. Grossman, that's not going to cut it. How about $1,100? I can give you $1,000 right now. Hold on one moment. Let me talk to my supervisor. 2 hours later, they come back and I music. Okay, Mr. Grossman, if you give it to me right now for $1,000, we'll wipe everything out. You sure? Yes, sir. You're going to report this to my credit? Yeah, the account will say close. Okay, here's $1,000. Can Visa come back after me a month later for the other $1,000? Because we've now made some sort of a settlement compromise deal. Third hypo. You call me up and say, John, when am I going to get the $1,000? $1,000? Are you crazy? Don't you remember last summer I funded you the money, you were having a tough summer? I don't remember that at all. But it was a wild summer for me, and we're friends. I don't think I owe you anything. I don't believe I owe you anything. I don't think I owe you anything. But in the spirit of saving the friendship, I'll pay you $500. If one party doubts the existence of a debt, the first two hypos, we both know that I owe you the money. In the third hypo, I don't think I owe you anything. I am disputing, I am questioning the existence of the debt in the first place. But I pay you something. Good faith, goodwill, call it what you want. I doubt that I owe you money anyway, but I pay you, and you cash that check. Can you come after me for the remaining amount of money? No. That payment is valid, consider. I dispute the debt in the first place. I don't think I owe you anything, but I'll pay you something. That payment is valid, consider, and you can't get any more money from me after that. How will you know that I'm doubting the existence of the debt? Because they have to. But if I owe you $2,000, if I owe you $2,000, and we both agree that I owe you the money, and I send you $1,000, marked paid in full, do I owe you the other $1,000? Yes. Think of a mortgage. You buy a house for $300,000. Last hypo, calm down. It's not right. I take out a mortgage for $300,000. I'm going to pay Bank of America $1,000 a month for 30 years. Get that big fat coupon book, very intimidating. I take out coupon number 1. I'm going to pay them $1,000. How much do I owe them now? $299,000, correct? Yeah. That's $300,000 minus $1,000. $299,000. I send Bank of America a check, $1,000, paid in full. If Bank of America cashes a check, is my mortgage done? Wouldn't that be a sweet deal? So again, and why isn't that enforceable? Because the Bank of America and I both acknowledge that we cannot dispute that I owe them $300,000. So that initial payment by now, God forbid, you have financial problems, you refinance, well, that's a good example. You refinance, you change everything, can Bank of America now come after me for the original debt? Because now we've made some sort of a deal, compromise, and now the new number is what is enforceable. How will you know if we make a deal or I'm just making partial payment? Because they are often revocable. Unless there's an option contract where you need additional firm offer, where you need or in a unilateral contract, the moment you begin, the offer becomes the mailbox rule says that acceptance is effective when, but if for some unknown reason I send you a what first? Then I send you an what wins? Take 15 minutes. Thank you very much.